There are cars so rare and so brutally powerful that they feel like they were built for one purpose only, to humiliate anyone brave enough to line up next to them. And in the peak years of the drag strip wars, nothing made the competition as nervous as a monster hidden inside an ordinary Fairlane, a machine Ford developed in secret, armed with a vicious 427, and capable of making Dodge think twice before hitting the throttle. Today, you are going to discover the rare 427 Ford that terrified Dodge on the drag strip, and why it still haunts the history of American racing. In the early 1960s, the drag strip was the true battleground of American car companies. Whatever happened in those 400 meters told the world who ruled the streets. Ford was tired of being beaten by Chevrolet and Chrysler, while Dodge and Plymouth were beginning to test the new 426 Race Hemi, a V8 so violent it looked like it had been taken straight from a race car and shoved into a family sedan. Inside Ford, the message was simple. It was time to stop losing. Engineers in Dearborn were developing a weapon, the 427 FE High Riser, a V8 built to rev high and inhale massive amounts of air, but wasted in heavy cars like the Galaxy. Ford needed something lighter, meaner, and almost illegal. That was the beginning of the project that would make Dodge uncomfortable every time the Christmas tree turned green, the Fairlane Thunderbolt. The idea sounded simple, but was radical in practice. Take the lighter Fairlane and force the 427 High Riser underneath its hood. On paper, it was a factory car. In reality, it was a race car with a license plate. The 427 was officially rated at 425 horsepower, but racers and tuners back then insisted the engines were far stronger than advertised. Many claimed well over 500 horsepower when properly set up. To make the huge high riser heads fit, Ford engineers had to cut and reshape the Fairlane's shock towers. It was a sign of the car's true purpose. The Thunderbolt received dual 4-barrel Holley carburetors, a towering intake, and long tube headers designed purely for competition. This was not a hot Fairlane. This was a factory-built drag weapon. Ford knew that in the war of tenths of a second, every pound mattered. The Thunderbolt was put on an extreme weight loss program. Acrylic side windows, fiberglass bumpers and front panels, almost no sound insulation, and lightweight bucket seats. Even the passenger side wiper could be deleted. The spare tire, heater, and other comforts were gone. Inside the car, a small metal tag made everything clear. This was not a vehicle intended for normal use. Period documents warned that the Thunderbolt was built for competition. Test cars were running low 11-second quarter-mile times in 1964, a number that shocked the industry. Today, enthusiasts often describe the Thunderbolt as driving a drag car with just enough trim to legally call it a street car. Loud, hot, rough, and completely addictive. To compete in NHRA Super Stock, Ford needed at least 100 production cars. They built exactly that. Around 100 Thunderbolts left the factory in 1964. Each started as a regular Fairlane that was shipped to a special department, stripped down, and rebuilt with racing parts. Transmission options were split almost evenly, about 49 with 4 speed manuals and just over 50 with high-performance automatics, ideal for consistency at the track. These cars did not go to regular dealers. They were sent to performance-oriented dealerships tied to top racers like Gas Ronda, Butch Leal, and Phil Bonner. Many buyers were already semi-professional racers who knew exactly what they were purchasing. A car that could show up at the track, get fresh tires and tuning, and win. Today, because of its tiny production and racing heritage, a real Thunderbolt fetches six-figure prices at auctions, with historic race cars selling for several $100,000. On the other side of the strip, Dodge fielded the 426 Race Hemi, a torque factory that marked the beginning of the Hemi era. Dodge wanted to dominate, but in 1964, the Thunderbolt struck first. Ford arrived with an organized program, factory backing, and trained drivers. Ford won the 1964 NHRA Super Stock Championship, proving the lightweight Fairlane with the 427 was something truly dangerous. Period reports and drivers' memories describe Mopar teams hesitating to line up against a well-tuned Thunderbolt. If its setup was right, The Ford launched hard and had strong top-end pull. Losing to it was expected. Being embarrassed by it was the fear. Chrysler's response was to escalate the arms race, pushing altered wheelbase cars and radical prototypes that eventually led to the birth of the funny car era. In modern forums like Reddit and Quora, and in YouTube comment sections, the Thunderbolt always sparks surprise. Many people assume the idea of a factory Fairlane running 11-second passes in 1964 is a myth. Then, they learn it was real. Enthusiasts who have seen one in person describe the unique sound of the high riser climbing through the revs as unforgettable. Owners today discuss the challenges of maintaining original parts, the fear of damaging rare components, and the constant debate between preserving the car or racing it as intended. Ford historians often describe the 427 high riser as one of the greatest mechanical achievements of the pre-electronic era. A massive intake, towering runners, aggressive cams, and a factory rating that everyone knew was far below the true power. The 1964 Ford Fairlane Thunderbolt is more than a rare car. It embodies everything enthusiasts love about classic American engineering pushed to the limit. In a time when marketing battles were fought on TV, Ford understood that real victory was measured on the drag strip. The Thunderbolt changed how Ford was seen in racing, forced Dodge and Chrysler to escalate the madness, and still fuels passionate debates today. Was it the peak of factory lightweight drag cars? Did Ford go too far selling such an extreme machine to the public? One thing is certain, for those who lived that era, and for anyone discovering the story now, the Thunderbolt is exactly what the title claims. A rare 427 Ford monster that truly terrified Dodge when the light turned green. We have seen Ford push itself to the edge, creating a machine that broke rules and shook the competition. Now, the question is for you. Which car was the true king of this rivalry? The Ford Thunderbolt or the Dodge 426 Hemi? Leave your thoughts in the comments. If the story of the brutal 427 high riser impressed you, hit the like button. It tells YouTube that you want more stories about legendary engines and corporate revenge. To avoid missing our next deep dive into abandoned concept cars and secret factory projects, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. And if you want to keep exploring the hidden history of American performance, another legendary video is waiting on screen. Just click to continue.